Hi, my name's Dave Southern. I'm a street performer and I've worked in Chester since 1987. I know, I don't look old enough. And now what they've done, with no kind of real consultation yet with performers, is bring in the idea of a public spaces protection order and try and organise street performers into some kind of quality control. And then also dictate where the places are that they can work and where they can't work. I see absolutely no necessity for that, and I'm really quite angry that what they've done by doing this is they've created an image of Chester to the rest of the country, and indeed the rest of the world, that Chester has a real problem with these things, and we don't.
My name's Johnny Walker. I'm a professional musician and full-time street performer, busker, and I'm also the founding director of an organisation called the Keep Streets Live campaign, and we're all about protecting access to public space for informal offerings of art and music. So I started the petition against Chester's PSPO. It's a multifaceted PSPO, Public Space Protection Order, which involves making it a criminal offence to lie down or sleep in any public place, persistent begging, even feeding birds. But the bit that engaged our campaign the most was the measures to deter inconsiderate buskers. Actually what this means in practice is where I'm playing today would not be a designated site, even though it's one of the most popular places in Chester to busk and play music. It would actually be a criminal offence to do what I'm doing right now, just playing my guitar and singing. I could face a arrest and I could face a fine of up to £1,000 on conviction, and a criminal record that as a travelling performer would mean that I wouldn't be able to travel to places, I wouldn't be qualified for a visa. It could affect the whole of my livelihood and the rest of my career. Very damaging, and for a city that claims to have a cultural bent, a cultural agenda, a theatre coming next year with multi-million pounds worth of investment, they claim to want to attract great street performers to the city. Seems a very odd way of going about it.
I mean, I'm ex-forces, mate, army and all that, like that. I've only just started busking like that. I do it for a bit of a laugh and a giggle. You know what I mean? A lot of these people are experts at what they do, and I think it's wrong what they're doing.
Surely a partnership-based approach, which doesn't criminalise people for busking, which doesn't criminalise people for sleeping rough or feeding pigeons, is in everyone's interest. It's less resource intensive, it's less contentious, it's less divisive, it's more about the good of the whole city and not just a narrow agenda. So we're hoping that the petition, which has been signed by 7,000 people so far and growing, will result in a rethink, and that the bid, instead of pushing for these new powers, will listen to the groundswell of public opinion and will choose to get round the table and talk. A problem has been created, an unnecessary problem, by making a proposal that's so heavy-handed against homeless people and buskers, but it creates an opportunity now for Chester Council, which has recently changed hands, to rethink its entire cultural policy and to say what makes Chester such a great place to come, live, work and visit. I think we can agree that it's not threatening criminal sanctions against buskers and homeless people that makes Chester a wonderful city.
There's no reason for it. You're not causing any grief to anyone. You know what I mean? Once you lose the buskers, then you've lost your entertainment. End of. You lose your entertainment.
It's really, really, really important that the public make their views known on this issue through the online consultation. Chester Council are running a consultation. It runs till mid-October. You can go on keepstreetslive.com, which is our website. We have a link through to the consultation, or we can go on Chester Council's website, and on each of the specific measures there is an option to answer: do you think it's a good idea to use a PSPO to make it a criminal offence to lie down or sleep in a public place? Actually, when it comes to busking, it says, do you think the city should develop a code of conduct with the musicians union and the buskers, or do you think they should regulate it with the PSPO? We'd like as many people as possible to say, develop a code of practice with the busking community, with the musicians union, with local businesses, rather than go for this contentious approach. The more people who can make that, who can participate in that consultation, the stronger the voice against this these proposals will be.
If a busker is so loud or so uncommunicative that it's damaging the trade of a shop, you have to talk to them, you have to do something about it. And there are still avenues that we can go down without needing a PSPO. But if a shopkeeper just doesn't like the busker, or it's not their style of music, or maybe they can't hear their Muzak CD in their shop, then I'm sorry, what they've got is world-class live musicians outside the street, outside the shop, on the streets. You know, other shops, out of the way places somewhere else would kill for that.